Put the bunny back in the box.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Oh my God! Just say normal!
I'm gonna do what you all think I'm gonna do, which is just pull his mouth.
Get away from her, you.
Let me give you a British answer. It was my cup of tea.
No more foreplay.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to the Celluloid Cellar. I am one of your hosts, Jack, and I am here with
Cameron, your other host.
And today we are going to be talking about the final reckoning.
It's the final reckoning.
Allegedly the final reckoning.
I think he's confirmed it recently to the Hollywood Reporter. He was like, it's got final in the title for a reason, so it is the final one.
He does love a laugh. I do apologise. This one is slightly later out. I was unwell.
You're unwell.
Yes.
But it's okay. We can manage. Life sometimes gets in the way.
Yes, we both unfortunately have other jobs.
We do.
You know, sadly, we have to go to.
We do.
Yes.
So schedules. So it's a little bit later. We were actually primed to be.
Yeah, we were
hot
on it, ready to go. And then I decided that I wouldn't be able to do 2 minutes without coughing my lungs up.
And I didn't want to get sick from it as well. So
it is what it is. My voice went a fair bit, so
it would have sounded like this for the whole podcast.
Oh, so you would have sounded like Professor X in Logan.
Yes.
Logan.
Someone
I really like
along.
the stunts in this film.
That's what it'd have been like.
Logan, I think the submarine captain is a homosexual. Logan.
He is, just so it's fine.
Who is
the submarine captain?
Mate, that actor, I don't know his name. I know he's in Severance.
Tremel Tillman.
I would watch anything with him.
Brilliant, isn't he?
He came on screen and I was like, this man.
Yeah.
The mustache alone. Could hold a film.
Yeah.
He just came on screen and you're just like, I'm a heterosexual male, but he's got sex appeal.
He does have sex appeal.
He literally is walking, talking. I'm going to fuck you.
He's got such charm. He's a sass box. He just keeps going, Mr. Tom Cruise, Mr. If you try and pull this off, I will not be happy, but I will approve it.
I would genuinely see a spin-off with that character.
Yeah, just him going around. So I loved it. I loved him.
Yeah.
His role.
Okay.
We will talk plot, we'll talk non-spoilers, and then we will go into full spoilers. I guess we've given a good idea
Should
of
we give
what we like.
A really quick kind of build-up of how we feel about the series overall?
I think we've touched on it previously, but we like the series / love it.
Very much like, I very much love the series, apart from the first one, which I feel is kind of...
I appreciate the first one. It's not my favourite.
But I was... not keen on Dead Reckoning.
Whereas I quite liked Dead Reckoning. It's very different, especially to Fallout, which is a lot more action heavy.
Yeah.
Dead Reckoning's a lot more about the suspense and the tension, a little bit more of a throwback to that first one. It's a very weird vibe as well to it.
Yeah, I was looking forward to Dead Reckoning, but I came out and was disappointed and feel like it didn't reach the heights of Fallout.
Yes. Yeah, I feel like Fallout and Ghost Protocol are the touchstones.
Yeah. But I very much like 3. I like 5 a lot.
Yeah, I like 5 a lot as well. I do like 3. I need to watch it again.
Yes.
Some people adore 3 and think it's the best, or other people actually hate 3 as well.
Well, those people are wrong, aren't they?
They are a bit silly, those people. Yeah. But yeah, I think, shall we do our quick rankings again?
Yeah, really
without
quickly.
8 involved, and then we can do our full rankings.
Now I hope it doesn't change from last time. I think you go.
So bottom for me is 1.
Yeah.
I've not seen 2 as well, I'll premise that. So because 2's so infamously poor for some people, whereas some people love it. So mine was 1, 3, 7, 5, 4, 6.
Okay.
Was
6,
my ranking.
Yeah. I think mine is... Now, I have watched Dead Reckoning recently again. I've watched a couple of them recently. Mine goes, least favourite is 1.
Yep.
Then Dead Reckoning. Then 2.
Yep.
Then 3.
Mm-hmm.
Then 5. Then 6. Then 4.
Then 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. That's very valid. I think people normally flip-flop on whether they prefer 4, Ghost Protocol, or Fallout
I think
6.
the difference
is their
between Fallout and Ghost Protocol is that Ghost Protocol has actually still got a little bit more. I think the story's more kind of, it clicks along a little bit more.
Yeah.
As opposed to Fallout, which does click along, but it's definitely more set piece based.
Yeah, maybe. I think
the
there's a lot of
storyline's
it.
quite basic.
Do you
in all
think
of it?
it could be maybe it's a potential thing of like the flaw of how they make the films, which is in it. So their process is quite strange of how they shoot.
Yeah, I think
especially in the Macquarie era.
And I was definitely watching like this one. We'll go into it more later,
Should we get
shortly.
into it?
Yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into it.
One of the plot of this one is it is a direct sequel to Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. It was originally Dead Reckoning Part 2, but Part 1 underperformed slightly for what their expectations were, for what they spent on it.
Yeah.
They spent a lot of money because it was produced during COVID as well.
Allegedly 300 million, is that correct? On
300
the
to
first
400 on this one,
think
and I
it's
think
700.
300 on the first one, yeah.
700 in total.
So quite a bit of that is because of COVID measures. It's also because the way that they shoot is that Tom and his longtime collaborator and director, producing partner, writer, Christopher McQuarrie, they will talk about set pieces and things that they want to do first, and they will talk about their action spectaculars that they want to do. They will get all of the budget and resources and things that they need for that, and then spend as much time as possible shooting them so that they're amazing, and they'll start working things out on the fly whilst shooting them, and then they'll shoot those first, and then they'll go and do all the other like dialogue exposition-y things after that. So they make sure they spend a lot of time and money on it so that it's safe, because Tom Cruise is the producer, star, man dangling off a plane, which we adore him for.
Yes.
And then they will go and write everything else. And I feel like you feel it more in this film because they have them based it. They had original plans for Dead Reckoning Part 2.
Yeah.
And they'd already shot some action sequences for it. Like the
Yeah.
biplane thing they shot years ago.
Wow.
Like they shot before Top Gun Maverick came out.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because there's a clip of Tom Cruise. He's hanging off the biplane and he's like, "Thank you so much for coming to watch Top Gun Maverick at CinemaCon. See you at the movies." And then it just bangs, and it's incredible. Incredible little clip.
Wow.
But they shot that scene years ago, and they've like reworked things. There were some things that were, I don't know specifics, but there were some things that were going to be action set pieces at the end of the last film that are now at the beginning of this film. So they really reworked it quite a bit.
I saw an interview with Chris McQuarrie. It's the Happy, Sad, Confused.
Yes, I've got some clips of that as well from what I've seen.
And he said that they messed around with the way in which the film played out in terms of it was non-linear for a bit.
Yes.
Then it was linear again. And then they kind of chopped and changed a few things. My thing about the film is, and my thing about the series on its own is, I think you can get away with like Mission Impossible Fallout being based around action pieces and then you kind of fill the plot in. But that film's like lightning in a bottle. And I think the only thing with, especially more for Dead Reckoning, because I really like this film, Dead Reckoning, is you can feel that. And it feels like all the bits in between feel very workmanlike.
Yeah.
Like even in this film, there's a point where it's like all the president and her generals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got some great actors.
Great actors doing great work.
Yeah.
So I did put down in like my good notes. That they're
seems
good.
very much like it just seems a little bit workmanlike.
I think a big thing about this film that makes it not feel quite so special as like those. So there's the first three, and then there's the ones that are. Then we get into
Brad Bird and then Christopher McQuarrie.
We get into the Brad Bird, and McQuarrie was a co-writer on 4.
Yeah.
And we get into like the new era where it starts getting sold on the stunts.
Yeah.
Because the whole big thing, like when it changed, was the press around the Burj Khalifa.
Yeah.
And so then each film is like sold on what's the big stunt, what's the crazy thing that
Rogue
Tom's going to do.
Was obviously hanging on a plane. And
yes.
The diving stunt.
The dive stunt.
Then
Fallout is the halo jump,
halo jump,
and also the hanging off the helicopter.
Yeah, hanging off the helicopter.
And the big run where he broke his ankle.
Yeah, big run where he broke his ankle. And then obviously Dead Reckoning, which I think does have the most impressive stunt of his jump.
The motorcycle jump.
Yeah.
See, that ends up not being quite as impressive for me because there isn't the second one that boosts it, because there's always there's normally there's the main one and there's a second one that boosts it up. I think the car chase is great in Dead Reckoning, but because I know that the jump was on a ramp and then they've CGI'd it out.
Yeah.
I think when he's actually parachuting and things, that's really impressive to me.
Well, it's a bit like in the Halo jump in
6, because they cover it up with all the CG.
And you're
yeah.
Like, why would he do that?
Yeah, whereas the helicopter's more impressive. And then in this one, it is the submersible scene and it is the biplane sequence as well. And I would say they're both amazing.
Yeah.
It's like, I think you may have liked this one more than me. My expectations were so high that I think I set myself up for failure slightly, because I adored Fallout.
Yeah.
My favorite film in 2018, loved it.
Yeah.
And I feel like I was expecting this, after 7 being quite weird and more of a suspense throwback, I thought this one was going to be pure action balls to the walls again. But it wasn't quite.
So the plot of the film is basically
everything
that has happened to Ethan Hunt throughout the past has all been linked to this. Apparently, it's definitely they've retconned some stuff. And I know it's 3 the rabbit's foot was part of this AI thing, and there's this machine or this thing
it's
called the Entity.
It's a big AI that's taken over the world. That they were trying to stop in the last one, but it's in charge, and it started changing things in the media, so people are seeing the wrong things, and it's slowly taking over every nuclear arsenal in the world, and it's then going to eradicate the entire planet. And the last line of defense is America's one, and Tom Cruise, Ethan Hunt needs to go
to this submarine,
get some information from a Sevastopol in a submarine or something to then shut down the Entity once and for all before it destroys the world. And I think we leave it at that, and then we now I know that this film has got some plot points that we would argue are quite silly, and not necessarily silly. Yes,
but they're jumping the shark almost.
I think they always toes the line.
Yeah,
but
however,
it's very sincere, and everyone's great.
Yeah,
everyone is so committed.
But I actually really thought, as a final to the series, I thought it was brilliant in the sense that literally the world will end if he doesn't get it right. It felt like it had stakes to it, and I know that's silly, but I genuinely felt watching it. I just sat there and I just had a great time with it. I don't know why. I don't know why I enjoyed it more. I felt like everything everything was happening for a reason.
Yeah.
I did feel at times certain characters were kind of sidelined a little bit. I feel like Simon Pegg was maybe underused at times.
Yeah, I do agree. I liked I think that everyone in his team is very good at what they do, and everyone's great. There's only one character / actor I didn't like in it, but on the whole, all really good. And I think they're great at delivering the exposition stuff. And I loved the subtle character interactions between Benji, Simon Pegg's character, and Paris, played by Pom Clementif,
who I thought died in the last one.
No, she gets stabbed, but she doesn't actually die. They left it sort of open-ended.
I don't know. I think they definitely made it seem like she was a goner. Like Chris McQuarrie did an interview on Happy Sad Confused, and he was like, the key rule of Mission Impossible is you don't retcon if someone's dead. And I was thinking, hang on, hold up.
I think they left it open-ended enough.
No.
But they're great because they have such opposite
and
ideals.
They've been doing a lot of the marketing together as well. In terms of they did the Lad Bible snack challenge together.
They're a really good yin yang, and I think one of the strengths of this film, again said by Macquarie on the Happy Sad Confused podcast, is that they cast actors and they write the roles around them. And so that really benefits. And obviously Simon Pegg's been in it for years, but having Pom Clementif and writing for her, Hayley Atwell's great in this as well. Or,
She's not really bad in anything, though, is
no, she's not bad in anything, but like has like moments where she gets to shine
Yeah.
in this. And then
Although I do find it mad that she's now some like badass like judo throwing around blokes. Like
she was a pickpocket,
she was a pickpocket in the first
pickpocket.
film. She wasn't a fucking world
She's had 2 months
gold
to
standard
train.
assassin.
Had
There was one point where she like kicked someone's ass, and I'm like, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
Hold up.
Yeah,
No.
I get it. But all of the team's great. I like the supporting cast around the president. I particularly like Holt McElhenney and Mark Gatiss being in there.
Yeah.
Love that when they're all sweaty at the end. But Holt McElhenney is great in pretty much
who
everything.
else is in it?
Nick Offerman.
Yeah, the only thing I find, I love Nick Offerman.
Yeah.
And I think he's brilliant in, like, he's great in Civil War. He's great in The Last of Us. He's great in anything he does. However, he does have that side to him where he looks like he's going to come out and, like, not malicious, but it will turn around and be like, I'm a swinger or something like that. Or, like, he'll have some, like, random thing. Like, he'll just come out with, like, a random kind of... I don't know why.
So you're not waiting for the villain turn. You're waiting for like the
I don't know. I'm just looking at him, just
sex
like
pest turn.
he's there's something quirky about him. Like he just has that look of just like I don't know. Maybe it's because he plays that kind of character and We Are the Millers, but
Oh, okay.
I just imagined that again.
Oh, it's like his character in Parks and Rec, Ron Swanson, just keeps having like different, like he's a very much like, I'm a libertarian lumberjack man who only eats meat, but then there's always like these subtle little like twists and reveals about him that keep coming out. And who else? Tremel Tillman, submarine captain. So
brilliant.
Loved that he was a fun queer submarine captain who just kept calling him Mister.
I just think the character was really good.
He was a good character.
I just think when he walks out, like literally he's on screen, you're like, this guy, I'd watch it.
Yeah, he was commanding. Like he felt like he was actually going toe to toe with Ethan.
Got who else is in it? Hannah
Waddingham, Angela Bassett. Yeah,
Angela Bassett.
So I think everyone's great except for the villain. And I've written a little...
Yeah, he's a strange character. Like, he's not a known actor, really, is he?
No, not really. So he's called Gabriel. He's played by Isai Morales. And I've gone quite harsh in my writing for this. Do you want to hear my full note?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I will also preface, Jack and I did an event yesterday that was both active and drinking at the same time. And I tell you what, it was amazing fun while we did it. Brilliant. It has truly fucked me up. I feel so weird today.
Yes. Lightheaded, to say the least.
Yeah, just a constant fog.
Yes.
So I will say firstly, before I go into this rant, thank you very much for the delicious iced coffee.
That's okay.
It is helping save me.
Yes.
But anyway, I've said this about the villain. Maybe one of the worst on-screen performances in a large movie I've seen in such a long time. So inconsistent in whether he's a boring, all-knowing magical man with the power of the entity or a cackling maniac. He's like if Javier Bardem was left out in the rain and all of the charisma disintegrated out of him as the threads separated. Pretty harsh, but I hated him in the last film. And I hated him even more in this one. Every time he came on screen, I literally felt like the charisma drain out.
Do you not think... I don't know. I think he's got some charisma to him.
I find he's just weird.
I love his voice, but I do feel like maybe I'm just looking at his IMDb now, and it's not great. I do wonder where they got him from.
Yeah, it's the fact that he was like a sort of godly all-knowing... I quite hate passive... in a way, like unemotional, godly, all-knowing characters.
I just wonder
that
if
don't
maybe...
actually have that power and things like that. Like where he's like, I've already beaten you. Oh, I'm going to stab you, Pom Clementif, because I know you'll betray me because he saved you and he's so irresistible.
I will stab you now.
Yeah, just like
I will do this. You do not know the power of the entity.
I hate all of those characters, which is weird because I'm a Watchmen fan and I like Dr. Manhattan, but Dr. Manhattan can deliver it where he can actually, rearrange your atoms and
maybe
shit.
Where they filmed it again, like bit by bit because of lockdowns and COVID and
maybe,
all
but
this
it's
kind
like
of stuff.
He literally turns up at the start and he's like, I've beaten you, Ethan, and then he starts going, ha! Ha! Ha!
Yeah,
and he's just like...
he's weird.
Yeah, it's so inconsistent.
I do think
I think
that,
it's genuinely horrendous.
yeah.
A portrayal.
I don't dislike it that much. I do just think it's. I think for a villain like that, it would have been better if, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe it would be one of those things where you go no, because that'd be stupid. But if it turned out that like a Ving Rhames character or Simon Pegg's character were like the villain or something, because and they had been plotting away in the background, and
Or bring back Jeremy Renner.
yeah.
Yeah, you got me kicked out of the IMF, Ethan.
Yeah.
And Jeremy Renner character comes
So
in and
did
starts.
you know
kicking.
originally when they brought Jeremy Renner in, it was because
They were going to replace Tom Cruise.
they
they
would
would.
replace Tom Cruise because he
Yeah.
was getting too old.
Yeah,
Mental.
yeah, crazy, isn't it?
But when you think they're not even that, the age difference is hardly
No,
anything.
it's only about 10 years. It's
that.
9 or 8, I
Yeah,
think.
I
Yeah,
think it might be like 8 years difference.
but I would have preferred it if it was that. I would have preferred if Nick Offerman. I think
yeah, something like
there's
that.
no intimidation to
No.
Gabriel at all. I don't find him a menacing presence.
No.
My friend who I saw it with, he said that he did find him like menacing, and I was just like,
Or
not at
even,
all. He's like a wet blanket.
Guy from The Amateur and
Holt McCallany.
yeah,
Yeah.
even if he had been the villain, 'cause
Yeah.
he's got like a presence to him.
Yeah, like him, he is the one in that room when they're talking about when the president and they're going through their ideas of
Yeah.
what they may need to do to save the United States compared
Yeah.
to the rest of the world. He is the one that you're like, him and Nick Offerman are the ones that you're like, oh, they might do something
Yeah,
terrible,
yeah.
like to get power over Angela Bassett. They're the ones who seem like the threats
Yeah.
in that space.
I do think that kind of could have had more. That was the one part that I felt was like more workmanlike, though. Part of the script, like
Yeah.
it would go back to it, and I'd be like, oh, okay.
It's very efficient.
Yeah,
And it's
but-
not bad, but it's
No,
not.
It's just it felt more like TV, kind of like.
Yeah, it's not stunning, but it's
No.
not poorly made.
No, it's not poorly
Either.
made. I think, but now having done some diving, but not much.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, limited. Like, I've probably done like 10, 12 dives.
Hmm.
I was watching the whole bit with Tom Cruise diving down to that submarine.
Yes.
And I was thinking, and it's in the marketings and this big thing,
Yeah.
the stunt, but
So this is more of the suspense
yeah,
sequence as
yeah.
opposed to
Don't
the
get me
grand
wrong,
spectacle.
it
Yeah.
worked very well for me, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, that is mental. However, I would love to know how deep down it's meant to be, because
Yeah.
that is not possible.
Yeah, he'd be dead.
Yeah, he'd be dead. Like,
Well, he's got his super suit on, but not possible.
no, it's not possible to go down that deep and then come back up again. Even with that big breath that he takes, if he's coming back up and breathing out,
Yeah.
you like there's when you see about like free divers and stuff like that. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand they have to hold their breath on the way down and then the way
Yeah.
back up. But even if, say, he was
Well, he did learn free diving for Rogue Nation.
yeah,
didn't
he learned free diving for Rogue
How
Nation.
long could he hold his breath? Couldn't he do it
Something
for like
like 4
se-
minutes.
I thought he could do it like 7 or something.
Might have been more then.
Yeah.
It's
He is a spectacular human being, isn't
oh,
he?
he's definitely got some good genetics going on there.
Yeah, I think we maybe haven't stressed this enough, but like he is fantastic in this, both emotionally and physically.
Yeah, Tom Cruise
Like-
does it no matter what he does. Like, there's a bit towards the end where he kind of shows a tear in his eye and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And he sells it so well. Like, the man is, he's got an energy that you cannot compute with.
He does have a great just charisma to
Yeah,
him.
he comes
Yeah.
on screen and you're just like, yeah, cool, fine.
Yeah.
I didn't realise. Have you heard that he might be doing the character he plays in Tropic Thunder?
Yeah.
He might be doing a film
No.
spin-off of that character.
Oh my god.
Oh, what is it? Len Good? No.
Len Goodman.
No.
7.
Seven. No, what? Oh. Something. Either way, the
Yeah.
character he plays in that.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Because he's making a film with Birdman director, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Iñárritu.
Yeah, Iñárritu.
But he is great in this. And there's a point at the beginning.
Yeah.
I won't say like which character he's with, but he's just saying to them, they're about to get tortured, and he's like, "It's only pain. It's only pain." And it's like, oh my god, like
Yeah.
it's delivered so amazingly, and you're like, it's comforting, but it's terrifying as well at the
Yeah.
same time that he knows what's coming.
It's. Do you think he could do it again, or do you think it's good that he's calling it a day on this?
I would
one?
like to see him do more crazy things and try and kill himself on screen in other franchises, but I think after this one, I'm quite ready for it to be done. It didn't feel like a spectacular finish to me.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, we were talking about the stakes being so high, and as you mentioned, that it was too somber for me at points. I thought it was done very effectively.
Yeah.
But I feel like the films that got people to fall in love with this franchise again, the 4, 5, 6, are such fun ragtag. Like, the stakes are high, but it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
And it's like this, like, even with Bond, like No Time to Die, the stakes are high.
Yeah.
But it's still, there's still a pep to it. It still feels like,
I feel like this had that though.
oh no, I found
like
it
had
quite
that.
miserable at points.
Oh no, I loved this film. I
I was-
genuinely sat there and I was smiling because I went with my parents.
Yeah.
Because, I'm a cool 28-year-old. Went with my parents on
Yes.
Saturday night. Yes. And I would just turn to my dad at one point and went, "This is awesome."
Yeah.
Like, I just loved it. Maybe, but I don't know.
That's how I felt about Fallout. That's what, like,
Yeah.
I went to see Fallout with my dad whenever it came out.
2018.
And I was
19.
Yeah, 2018.
Was it?
It was, yeah. And I was like, this is fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Like, I adored it. And even 7, I went to go see that with a couple of my friends in Cardiff, and one of them liked it. The other one wasn't so hot on it. But we were all like, what a weird film. And two of us were
weird.
like, what a weird film, but what a great time still. Whereas with this one, I felt like, and I've put it in my notes, Jack, you've just
Sorry, I just unplugged
He's just
myself.
fucking unplugged his mic. Stop futzing. What are you doing?
I'm unplugged from
have so
the
much-
entity.
We have so much time to prep beforehand.
I'm sorry. I get a little bit twitchy. I sorry.
Do I need to buy you a fidget spinner?
Yes. I need a fidget toy now, Cameron.
But yeah, there was just something about this one where, like, I wanted to like leave it being like, hooray,
But I felt
cinema,
like
but
that.
I didn't get it.
Oh,
And
I did. That bit, the ending specifically
Yeah.
as well.
I didn't. So the ending fell. I loved the biplane sequence.
Yeah,
Thought
yeah.
that was brilliant.
Yeah.
But the actual ending,
Yeah.
not a big fan of.
Oh, I
Well,
like an
sh-
ending like that.
It
I
was
do like an
specifics about it.
Yeah, but
Well-
all of them finish like that. Like you look at like
No, there was like there's one set specific. I'll get into it in spoilers. Let me check my non-spoiler notes. I think I have some names to shout out. Do you have anything else non-spoilery to say?
I do think that Chris McQuarrie. My only problem with the films,
Yeah.
on the whole, is I think McQuarrie did brilliantly with 5 and 6. I then think you need to bring someone else in to freshen it up. If you look
Yeah.
at like Sam Mendes with Bond,
Yes.
Skyfall, brilliant.
Well, yes. My mate
Spectre,
who I went to see this with, JJ, hello if you're listening. He said that the beginning of this had Spectre vibes, where it was trying to tie everything together,
Yeah.
and I felt,
I just think that sometimes you need a fresh
fresh pair of hands.
fresh pair of hands on something. It's like you look at like the prequel Star Wars films and it's all George Lucas. And you're like,
Yes.
I wish someone else had done that.
Well, I think that's a good point with this, where it's like the strengths of those films
Yeah.
are even stronger. Like the stunts are more spectacular.
Yeah.
The chases and things are even greater. The fight choreography. So the fight choreographer is Wade Eastwood. He's been the stunt coordinator for Tom Cruise's film since Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Great work from him.
Yeah.
And the editor, because there's a fight scene at one point where there are punches being thrown and it crisscrosses between two different fights.
Yeah.
And that's brilliant. Editor is Eddie Hamilton. He's been Cruise's and McQuarrie's dude since Rogue Nation on this, and he did Top Gun Maverick as well. Brilliant work from both of them, especially from Eddie having to like deal with,
All of the crap.
or like not having a finished script, shooting things out of obviously things are always shot out of sequence, but like, shooting things years apart and then like jumping between, and like whether it's going to be linear or non-linear or
Apparently
mixture.
They didn't even they didn't lock the film until 2 days before their deadline.
Yeah, they didn't.
Which
no.
is
Yeah, they did the
sorry, they were
entity.
making
Yeah, they did the
changes.
entity sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I think is a very good sequence.
Yeah.
But I do agree. Like the strengths of it are incredibly strong, but then the weaknesses have got weaker as well. So it's like there's such a like Fallout was perfect, and it has those set pieces, and it has the incredible suspense as well. But the things tying it together, I do feel, are a little bit lackluster. I'm just going to check my bad notes before. It's mostly about tone. There's the big horrible thing about Gabriel. Not enough Shea Wiggum.
Yeah.
Who was brilliant in Seven.
Yeah.
He's good here. Who was
His
the guy?
hair is very much Chris McQuarrie, though.
His hair was worse in this one. It was so much better in the last one.
Yeah.
Who's the guy who was in the first one? Harry Stetz, who's like Shea Wiggum's other dude. He was in like the first Mission Impossible before the fish tank explodes.
Oh,
He's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the guy that he's like, everything you've done has led to this.
Yes,
Ethan.
exactly.
Yeah. No, he's good. I also love that is it a spoiler to mention the
No, he's in the trailer, the
Okay,
dude that they
so
brought back from the first
I
film.
cannot imagine what it must be like for the actor who in the first film, when they break into like the coding room and that, and he's literally just there. He plays someone that
You've got to
gets
play
the
a
shits.
dweeb with diarrhea.
Yeah, a dweeb with diarrhea. He comes in and he sees the knife. He doesn't even get a line, I don't think. Or he might
I think
get...
he just goes, "Oh shit."
Yeah,
or something
literally.
that,
He's like,
yeah.
"Oh, I got the shits."
Yeah.
And then in this, he's got like a fully fledged character.
Yeah.
I was like, fair play to that guy. He, like 30 years and I've hardly ever seen him in anything.
No.
And now he's playing like a big role in this.
Henry Cerny is Eugene Kittredge.
Yeah.
So the sort of Tom Cruise's opposite of the IMF. And it is Greg Tarzan Davis. Wait, no, it's not Greg Tarzan Davis. Greg Tarzan Davis is the guy who joins Ethan's team.
Yeah, that
the
guy,
young guy.
We say the young guy. Oh, no, yeah, he is young.
Yeah, he is young. No, the one who was... Oh, I can't find it.
Henry Czerny plays the guy from the first.
Yeah, that's right. No, Henry
sorry.
Cerny, it's the other guy that we're thinking of who had the shits.
Rolf
Saxon.
Yeah.
Yes, Donlo is
Yes.
his character.
Also, I'd like to call out because he's in Top Gun Maverick as well, but he's got a great.
Oh,
voice.
Charles Parnell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's in The Killer as well, isn't he? You've not seen that, have you?
The thingy-mabobby one.
Michael Fassbender.
Yeah,
and David...
I have seen that. Yep.
That makes a change. You've actually seen.
I've seen it. Yes, Jack. I like The Killer a lot.
Yes, I like
yes,
it.
Charles Parnell has a very good voice as well, and I do like. Excuse me if I pronounce this wrong, but Lucy Tulagarjuk as Donlo's wife, Tepeza.
Yes,
as well. She's very good.
Yeah, she was very good.
Cool. Final couple of things for like non-spoilers. I thought it was very interesting, and Tom Cruise and McQuarrie probably both had big boners in their pants. That both of the main set pieces were sort of like silent films. There's limited dialogue in them.
Yeah. I think that's what
it's all
Tom
on the
Cruise has
SFX.
not hidden that he's got a love of
movies.
Yeah,
cinema.
love of movies, cinema, but the
Buster Keaton.
Yeah, Buster Keaton. Yeah, obviously the OG stuntman. My last thing, did it have the Tom Cruise intro at the start?
I
of the
was
film?
going to save that for spoilers, but yeah.
It
did.
That. I love
that. Made me smile more than some parts of the film. I loved it.
Oh,
that he came. No, genuine. But I adored that he came in and just thanked you for being at the cinema.
Yeah, but
like
I think
just his lovely face, like like 30-foot big close up. He truly cares.
I think he genuinely does, and I do think that I hope that more films like this.
Yeah,
that's the one thing I love about the film, and I think that was why. I go on about it a lot, and I like to waffle about it. But a lot of people like over egg the pudding when it comes to cinema. Now, you can have your art house films, you can have your stuff like that. This is entertainment. This is popcorn oozing out of the screen.
There's an letterboxed interview with McQuarrie and Cruise together, and you see that they're just best friends who love making movies together. And Macquarie was like, when Tom first came to me and we were making Valkyrie, he was like, I make mass entertainment.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm just relieved that someone's happy to say it at some point, not trying to be pretentious about
that's
it.
the thing. I mean, he's done his art house stuff. He's done his stuff with he's done Eyes Wide Shut. I wouldn't even say that Magnolia is necessarily art house. I think it's
a drama, but
it's a drama. But he did his Eyes Wide Shut.
But
and stuff
yeah,
like
for
that.
2 decades, he's been concerned about how can I bring the best entertainment possible to the greatest number of people. And I think there's something admirable about that.
Yeah,
and not hiding the pretensions around it and being like, I love movies and I love big movies that you can go and enjoy.
He's made one bad film in the last 15 years, I'd say.
Which was
The Mummy.
Yes. Not great.
No. But
pretty terrible.
Yeah, I don't know if that was necessarily him or not, but I think the only problem with that one was they were trying to make it seem like he was a 35-year-old, and he's not, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like they were trying to de-age him by 20 years.
Yeah, it was a poor choice, but he's like Maverick, all of the MI films are great. Like this film as well, like I know I may have sounded like a bit down on it. I did like it.
Yeah.
And I do have a note where I'm like, is it just a weird year for cinema? Am I falling out of love with films slightly? Am I thinking too critically now because I am now doing this with you and I'm now watching? I'm now on podcaster, so I have to overanalyze things.
See, I don't think that. I think I'm like enjoying cinema a bit more now.
Okay. I think when we started, I was like popping, but I don't know if it's like we've had like a bad run or things.
There has been
it's been an odd year.
Yeah, there's been a kind of there was some great films at the start, and then it's just been
because we had last year's Oscar films.
Yeah, and then it's just been a bit like meh for this period. Like we've not really done a cinema film for a little while because we've looked at it and we've gone, well, we don't want to go see Thunderbolts.
No,
we went and saw Captain America: Brave New World. We endured that.
Yeah,
and then it's like there's not a lot. So Thunderbolts is underperforming as well.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
I didn't realise. But do we want to talk box office of this?
Yeah.
I was also going to say, I don't know if I am falling out of love because then me and JJ the next day we watched The Big Boss, which is a Bruce Lee film.
Ooh.
It was his first one, I believe.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
And it has flaws, like it is like, it has like weird little quirks to it and it's like a little cheesy at times, but I loved it with its flaws. I appreciated them. I was just like, it's just dudes making movies like on a fucking coast town in Hong Kong, just being crazy guys. It really just grabbed me. I think it was Hong Kong. It might be elsewhere in China, but
I do love it. Yeah. I've never really watched much Bruce Lee stuff, but I do love it.
Well, I'd never seen one.
No.
And I was like, but it was great. And he was, speaking of like physical presences, like he just grabbed you like Tom Cruise. He was a star that just like,
but it's like anyone, like you watch anything
screen.
like Paul Newman and he comes on screen, you're like, oh, better behave now. You're like, you know what I mean? You're like, say you were on your phone, you'd be like, oh yeah, put it that way, right? He's on screen.
That's funny because in the Letterboxd interview Tom Cruise is talking about, he's like, I was in Colour of Money and I'm like acting opposite Paul Newman, and there's points where you can see I stop acting because I'm just watching Paul Newman.
I think people forget as well that Tom Cruise is a great actor.
They do.
It's a bit like Brad Pitt as well, though. I think he became
Brad Pitt.
Yeah, he became Brad Pitt, and people forgot he could actually act. And it wasn't until he did some stuff with Tarantino again and did like Inglourious Bastards and
even that
like
one.
that.
I think that's quite such a bizarre like. Strange, like I think that's less of an impressive character, whether I think it's more of a caricature than I would say Burn After Reading, where he plays a beautiful idiot.
But he pulls them all off.
He does.
And then he did a lot of interesting stuff.
It's like Brendan Fraser as well. People would just disregard him and be like, oh, he's the action dude. But it's like, no, you need to have some presence to you to be Rick Flag. Or not Rick Flag, Rick O'Connell.
Yeah, if they wanted to, I love The Mummy.
I love The Mummy.
First two.
Yeah.
But if they had gone, right, we want to do a Indiana Jones kind of like remake, as it were, and they'd cast Brendan Fraser even in 2005, I'd have been like, fair.
Yeah.
He's got the... Don't get me wrong, he's a little bit more off the wall,
like if say even though he's a bit old, maybe too old,
Yeah.
if it turned out that like they cast Brendan Fraser as Harrison Ford's son,
Yeah.
in King of the Crimson Skull,
Yeah.
he's like, "You're too old." He's like, "I've lived a life,"
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something
No,
like that.
no, I know, yeah.
Imagine the pair
That
of them
would've been-
together.
Well, they did do a film together, didn't they?
Did they?
Yeah, Extraordinary Measures. It didn't do very well.
Oh, okay.
There is an actor though that I think if they do Indiana Jones Indiana Jones
Indiana Joneser.
is the perfect actor. He's in 1923. He plays like the like nephew or something.
Oh, is this the dude that everyone wants to be Batman as well?
Yeah, no, don't do Batman. Make him Indiana Jones.
Okay.
So should we give our stars for?
Yeah. Do you want to do box office or not bother?
Yeah, let's do box office.
Okay. I literally have a very quick note on it.
Yeah.
So it's made 204 million internationally so far,
quite good.
which is a pretty good opening, but
Yeah.
it's fallen behind Lilo and Stitch,
Which
is
I saw Saturday as well.
Yeah.
and it's delightful.
okay. I sort of hated the look of it from the trailers, but that's just me.
I actually enjoyed it.
I'll wait for it to be on stream. And I have
think
no
the thing,
desire.
The thing is, I think Disney need a hit.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of things have been quite...
their things have still made money.
Oh, yeah,
It doesn't matter how poorly
Yeah.
received they've been.
But
They're still making money.
But I think it just had... It felt like it had a good heart.
Okay.
Is how I felt.
It didn't feel as much of a cash grab as like
No.
some of the others.
No, and it definitely had a good... Don't get me wrong, it wasn't
Spectacular.
Spectacular.
Yeah.
But Stitch is cute.
Yeah.
The child actor in it is actually quite good.
Okay.
The relationships in it are quite good. I've never seen Lilo and Stitch. I never saw the
You never saw
animation.
the original?
No. I never saw the
okay.
original. But the relationship between the two sisters, obviously one of them's like 8, one of them's like early 20s.
Yeah.
I would have actually watched the film just about that, and I
Yeah.
thought it would have been quite a good little Disney film. But Stitch is obviously quite cute. When he talks at the end and he's like, "These family," I'm like, "Oh
Yeah.
yeah, go on, well done."
You clapping at him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You speak, little yellow,
Little blue rat.
Yeah.
Well, we can have that as your review of that, and I can review the Phoenician scheme
Yeah,
in a bit.
oh, God,
I'll do
yeah,
that. I'll do that afterwards. But yes. So some people have been like, "Oh, Lilo and Stitch is beating it. Mission Impossible's a failure." Look, we can't give it time.
Yeah, give it time.
Yeah, don't.
There's
I
not
think
exactly much else out at the moment, is
No,
there?
it's been out for a week. It has made 204 million.
Yeah.
Give it time. Don't
was
call it a
pretty
failure
packed
or a
cinema
flop. Yeah.
when I went in on Saturday.
Yeah, we went to a preview IMAX.
Yeah.
And it was sold out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was like 9:20 on a Saturday night.
Yeah, mine was 7 on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Sold out. Yeah. And then reviews as well for this one have been mixed, but leaning more towards positive.
Yeah, I think it's more positive. So allegedly, Chris McQuarrie and Tom Cruise looked at the feedback they got from.
Yeah, so they
Dead
adapted
Reckoning.
it. Yeah.
So they did change it slightly.
They
They
literally-
tried to tighten it up.
They shot things that were then cut out, like that were going to be part of part 2, but then like
Yeah.
they decided to make it its own standalone and tie it more into the whole series as a whole. But I think that's where like the weaknesses of it come in, and there are strengths. But we should give our ratings and go into non
I
spoilers.
do find it funny though that he said quickly before we do that he
Yeah.
went, we wanted to tighten it up a bit, so we tightened it up in certain places. It's still 2 hours and 50 minutes
Yeah,
long,
it's nearly 3 hours long.
but I didn't feel like it didn't feel
No,
that long to me.
it's
It clicked.
it's incredibly well paced.
Yeah.
I will. Yeah,
So I would give it. Go on, you go first.
I'm going to give it a 4 because of the action, because of the set pieces. But I do think the tone is quite hampering. I think the villain is incredibly weak, and the direct ending didn't land for me. Lead up to the ending,
Yeah.
wonderful and emotional.
Yeah.
Direct ending, have an issue with it. I didn't leave feeling warm and fuzzy, but I think like it's such a technical and spectacular marvel. I cannot stress how amazing the biplane sequence is. I think people are flip-flopping whether they like the submarine or the biplane more, but the biplane's brilliant for me. Couldn't get enough of it. Would watch
Submarine. Actually.
so I think maybe that's where we fall. Yeah. Oh, but then
Yes.
I liked Dead Reckoning more, and that's more of the suspensey one than big action.
Yeah, but I was sat in my chair and I actively was like moving myself. I was getting
Yeah.
fidgety because I was like, oh, fuck.
It's an incredible feat.
Yeah,
Yeah. Imagine,
it's-
yeah.
I was just sat there like, oh, I know what's happening and this is so unrealistic,
Yeah.
but fuck,
They've
make it.
combined the revolving corridor of Inception
Yeah.
and the filling up sets of Titanic.
Yes.
And
they've-
brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, I would give 4.
Yeah.
I would have given Dead Reckoning a 3.
Okay.
I would give this a 4. I like it. It is probably in my top. Out of the 8, is probably up there with Rogue Nation and Ghost Protocol and Fallout.
Okay. I may put I think it would actually go below 7 for me at the moment. It's made me think of 7 more fondly.
Bit boring.
No. But I would say Fallout is a 5-star film.
Yeah. So spoilers.
Spoilers from here.
This point.
Spoilers from here.
Ving Rhames dies.
Ving Rhames dies, and this is one of my notes,
Yes.
is that it's so... I forgot he died because it was like, it happens, and then he's just not part of the team. And then, I don't know, it goes on for so long and gets so like somber and bogged down in some things that I forgot he died.
Why do you think it's so somber though? I'm confused.
It is because
It's not. It's just got stakes to it.
No, the stakes, like all of them have had stakes, but it's like the portrayal of the nuclear apocalypse in it is scary and terrifying, and I think they do a good job. But it's just like, it's a horrible ticking clock of like, everyone's losing their nuclear arsenals and the whole world's going to be blown up. It feels miserable.
But what else would? But like it's. But I liked that. I loved that element that it's. If he does not do this, everyone is dead.
I know everyone's dead, but it's like there's other ones where they do it, but they still have like the moments of levity and the smile, and I think that's why I still liked, like, even though it's a bit morbid, like the Pom Clementif and Simon Pegg interactions that they have. I think that was a brilliant sequence at the end where Benji's been shot and he's having to do the direct.
Yeah, that was quite good.
That was great while he's not passing out because he's been shot. And
did you think he died at the end? Because I thought, oh fuck, they've killed him.
I
off.
thought they killed him off, and I was a little bit sad that they did bring him back.
Yeah, me
to
too.
walk around at the end. I thought it would have been more important
Yeah.
or profound if he had died.
And if he had like, looked to see if Benji was there, and he wasn't.
That felt like they ate their cake and had their cake and ate it too, as with all of them surviving the bomb runoff as well.
Yeah, I did think that. Like, I thought at one point one of them was gonna.
I was like, the only guy making that is the young guy.
Yeah. The young guy is making that.
Yeah.
The other two are not making it. But this film does feel like it has its purpose. It is an action entertainment film.
Oh yeah,
It's not anything kind of overly art. Well, I don't say.
I
artistic.
felt like it sometimes was too dark for what it is meant to be, where it is that action entertainment.
Oh, I
I
didn't
thought
feel
at times it was too miserable for a general audience. At
Really?
times, yeah, I thought it was quite gloomy and glum at points, whereas like the
loved
other
it.
mission films do have more of a levity to it. Like, stakes may be high, death is on the line, but like you can sort of see like there's a twinkle in their eyes still, whereas like this one, it is like, fuck.
But to me,
everyone's
that's kind of
gonna
like
die.
if you want to go out on one, go out on. If we do not do this now, the world is ending.
They do make it feel like the final one.
Like to me,
Yeah.
I actually, because like I saw some people and they're like, oh, it doesn't feel like it has any finality to it, and I'm like, hang on a minute, he's literally saved the world. I mean, the fact that they're flying around on a biplane, I was a bit like, it seems a bit straight. I understand that it's analog. There's no computers and stuff like that, which is why he's got it.
The metatextual element. Yeah.
But also the whole submarine scene.
Yeah.
The fact that he's going down and he's got to be like, they're talking like a bottom of the ocean, he's got to be 250 meters down.
Yeah.
Minimum.
Mm.
Right. The human body cannot cope with that.
Tom Cruise is not human.
But I'm
The
like,
power of
okay,
Xenu.
God. My phone. I want to see how deep can the human body go.
Okay. I preferred the biplane sequence. I loved the moment where he went weightless and then span around in between the two wings. Spectacular. I also loved Gabriel's death in that scene.
Oh,
where
yeah,
it's
I
like,
know, yeah,
only one of us has a parachute, ha ha ha! And then he smashes his head on the end of the rudder.
It was such a shit death, though, for a shit character.
It was a perfect death for him.
Yeah,
I found it so funny. My entire audience was laughing. I was squealing. I was going, yeah! I was very loud. Really enjoyed his death. You Google.
So humans
much
can
that
get to the depth of 214 meters.
Okay, so yeah, he
free
did it.
diving
Yeah.
with world record set. Okay, let's see how deep down the sub is meant to be.
In Rogue Nation. Fair enough. I'm going to look at my other spoilery notes. Yeah, love the little message from Tommy Cruise at the beginning. I don't really have too much. I think it's one of those ones where you can talk about it without going too much into spoilers. Oh, I do have a specific thing. So I don't like that he didn't destroy the entity, that it was in the box, but he didn't destroy it, and that it was left vague, because the whole film he's like, we've got to kill this thing, we've got to destroy it. But then Grace, who is Hayley Atwell's character, is like, oh, the only person I would trust with this is you, Ethan.
Yeah.
And look, I get that he's like, there are so many spectacular lines in these films where like Shea Wiggum in the last one's like, he's a shape-shifting, all-knowing, like walking agent of chaos. And then like Alec Baldwin in 5 or 6 is like, he is the living manifest of destiny or something like that. There are some amazing lines to describe the power that is Ethan Hunt and like the cult of personality that his film builds around him. But to the point where it would be like, oh, you are the only person who can control the power of God and an entire nuclear arsenal of an AI in your hands, an AI that's brought the world to its knees in 2 months. The only person that can do it is Ethan Hunt, who spent the whole film trying to kill it.
Yeah.
I didn't like that he then just walked off with it in a box for protection, and he's like, I will protect it. He doesn't say that, but mindset-wise,
he destroyed it.
He doesn't destroy it.
He's got it in the little.
He just has it in the case.
Did you think?
I want him to destroy it. I wanted him to like snap it in two, but he just
Yeah.
has it in the case.
Do you think the case glowing at the end was a nod to
Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Yes.
I did think that because Ving Rhames makes it and he opens up.
I didn't even think about it being Ving Rhames. Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
I saw that and I was like,
references.
Fuck, is that Pulp Fiction?
Yeah. Good shout.
Well, I did wonder. But no, so for me, everything worked in the film. By the way, he's allegedly like over 150 meters down.
But the human body can withstand that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
and he's got his special suit.
Not when he's swimming back up, though.
Yeah, he does swim back up nude. I thought that was... Sorry, I'm just crunching eyes.
That's all right. You crunch away, my dear.
I did think it was impressive him being... I don't know how much of that was then CG, like that ice, but him being nude... He loved getting his fucking rig out in this film, didn't he?
It might be his last chance, you know.
Yeah.
He's 60, however odd.
I did like the fight on the sub, where like he smashes the guy's head into the treadmill at some point.
Oh, yeah.
But then he's also wearing, did you clock, he was wearing horrible toe shoes.
Yeah, I saw that.
Awful.
Yeah, that's hanging there.
But yeah,
No one should be.
And that's said as someone who's got his feet out at the moment.
I'm like, no judgment.
Well,
no,
it's too warm. The dogs had to come out. Dogs had to come out and bark.
I will admit the whole. So I don't know about you, but the whole kind of like the ocean is quite scary, isn't it?
Quite a few people are scared of the ocean. I'm not that fussed by it, but yeah, sure.
No, but like the whole thing of like the idea of you jumping into the water and like just being there on your own. Like I'd be a bit like, oh
yeah, the unknown depths. Yeah, I get
not necessarily that, but just like how vast it is and things like that. Like
yeah, I just don't think I'm very confident that I'd never be in a situation where it was like that. So say if you went to Australia, would you go diving in the Great Barrier Reef where it's just you can't see the land, but you can see the boat that you came off of?
It depends if there have been some shark sightings.
So you're one of these people that Jaws has worked on. You're afraid of the sharks.
Yeah, massively.
Sharks are nothing, man. You should be afraid of crocs.
Oh no, crocs as well, mate. I'm terrified of crocs.
Oh, crocs are
so crocs are from what I understand and having seen them in.
Yes, you've seen them in Africa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sharks are they're more intrigued by you, unless it's a bull shark when they're little fuckers.
It's like
bull
less.
sharks are horrible, but a shark.
Yeah.
The problem is a shark hasn't got hands, has it? All its like ability to sense things are in its mouth. But if it comes up and bites you, because a lot of time people just get bit and then they're like left.
I think it's less than 100 people die of shark attacks each year.
But you never know. You could be one of those 100. But,
Come on, mate. There's 7 billion to 8 billion people on this planet.
But like, so sharks are more intrigued by stuff, whereas crocodiles actively want to kill you.
Crocodiles are monsters.
Yeah, it's like there was a guide, and he's like a white Zimbabwean guy, and he's like,
Yeah.
yeah, bro. So basically, if it bites you on the arm, it's going to twist and take your arm off, but that is absolutely fine. That is all that will happen. And I'm like, mate, I like my limbs. What do you mean that's the best that will happen? The fact that it would just like there's videos, aren't there, of crocodiles in like enclosures and stuff, like crocodile farm, whatever they are, and they'll all be like going towards the food, and they'll just like nibble another's arm off, and they're just looking at it like, oh fuck, but cheers, mate.
Would this put your mind at ease?
What's that?
Fewer than 10 people globally are killed by sharks each year. There has been, then in America, on average, there are 16 shark attacks per year in the United States, with 1 fatality every 2 years. It's so low. Jaws has ruined this world. It's like, I think
I do love sharks though.
Yeah, I think it's David Fincher said like Jaws is the most effective horror film ever because it's made people afraid of the ocean and afraid of sharks. Like, I have no fear of them, but crocs, I'm like,
Crocs, I
Crocs will
genuinely
decimate you.
Yeah, crocs are. But
Yeah.
Here's a story I heard. No, I don't know how true it is, and maybe I don't know whether you're allowed to put it on a podcast or not. But someone I worked with back in the day, back on set, they said they had gone to Australia, and it was one of those where they kind of like take you to like a little island or something.
Yeah.
And then they dropped them off, and everyone camped there overnight. Well, they cancelled that trip because what had happened was they had gone out on this trip, and someone had been taken by a crocodile.
Yeah.
But they had been dropped off and they couldn't get anyone to come and pick them up that day.
Yeah.
The crocodile then, like 12 hours later, walked past them with the person still in their mouth.
We can have that on the pod, that's fine. But yeah.
But when I heard that, I was like, I literally never want to be within 10 feet.
Well, when I was there last year, I was up in the northeast during like jellyfish croc season. So when jellyfish and croc season.
Oh god, that's wonderful.
So when I went diving, I had to have a full stinger suit on. Not because it was like the water was 27 degrees, so it was like you've covered head to toe, not because you're going to be freezing, but because in case you get stung by a jellyfish, so like that you're not going to get hurt. And they were telling us about this croc, like these people, one of the beaches we went and visited, that these women were walking along with their feet in the water, and this croc came out of the jungle and just walked and like grabbed one of them and just went off and swam with them like into the ocean. And it was within a year or so of us walking on that beach. And then we also went on a little boat ride on the same trip, like going around, and we did see we saw a snake, which was pretty cool, and saw like crocs and things. Only saw one croc, and then we saw, which was a 3 meter long lady. So I saw her head, and I was just like, whoa, terrifying. And then later on, when we were driving back, we saw another one, but quite far in the distance, who was 7 meters long, and you could just see this shape in the water. Like, he was huge. Like, that's tip to snout. Like, so tip of the tail to like
would
snout.
love to have seen how the British responded when they first went to Australia and got munched on by a crocodile.
Oh my god, yeah, because it's...
Don't you know you're under the Queen? What do you mean you're going to bite me? Why are we rolling around, little boy?
Because it's only up like in proper, true like north area. So where we went, they said at one point that the area above us was longer than the length of the United Kingdom, but only had about 4,000 people living in it. So like just completely like...
So do they only live in the north of the country?
They're northeast and maybe Darwin area, maybe north as well. So yeah, they're in like the so they're like over along that coast. And that's where like the Stinger area is as well. So like North Queensland.
I just, Australia sounds lovely and all, but I just like my limbs.
Oh, it's fine.
But you see a
I've
crocodile-
been twice and I've not been munched. I've not been bit
Crocodiles
by
are
a spider. I've
literally-
not been stung by a jelly.
If anyone ever said, like, we should, make Jurassic Park a real thing and like bring back the dinosaurs, go,
Yeah.
hold up a minute. Have you seen crocodiles?
Yeah, crocodiles are terrifying. Like they are
They
genuinely
are
like
literally prehistoric munching machines.
like and gators to a lesser extent. Gators are semi-cute, whereas crocs are like true
Cute.
monsters.
Cute.
Gators are semi-cute.
What the fuck are you on about? Cute.
They're a little bit.
They are not. They're just a smaller version of them. I'm going to eat you.
They've got sillier faces.
What do you mean they got silly face? They're bigger.
Gators aren't bigger.
No, but their faces are bigger.
Yeah, it's longer, so it's a little bit more comical. They've got, I think they've got, you see like people palling about with gators more in like Florida and stuff, and I think their eyes are kinder, whereas a croc's eyes are more terrifying. Croc's got a lifeless eyes, like a doll's eyes.
Oh yeah, doll's eyes.
Um,
So what do you think about the Phoenician scheme?
the Phoenician scheme. So we're done with Mission Impossible.
Yeah,
Cool.
I really liked it.
Yeah, I liked it. I wanted to love it. I think my expectations were maybe too high, but there we go. That's just a fact of life sometimes. The Phoenician scheme, this is going to be a very quick review because we've gone over an hour.
Oh,
We've got to record something else.
Yes.
So Phoenician scheme started great,
Yep.
but then it really lost its way. The plot isn't even that complicated, but the dialogue surrounding it and the main machinations is so overly complex for what it needs to be that it just affects everything else. So it's really hard to keep track of.
Yeah.
Because basically it's a businessman who's people
try to kill him. don't
people
they?
keep trying to kill him, and he brings his daughter in who's a nun to come take over the company, but he needs to go secure funding from all of his business partners to fund his newest project. And it turns out like this project costs more than his entire company, so he's just trying to swindle people. But it's really hard to follow.
Yeah.
It's so incredibly over the top, and it affects the comedy in the film.
It's a shame because it's got a brilliant cast as
It
well.
does, it does.
And I love Benicio del Toro.
So cast is really great.
Yeah.
Michael Cera is the standout.
yeah.
He's very funny in it, but lots of the comedy falls flat because you can't really keep track of what's
Don't you think
happening.
that- so he's had the kind of since COVID, he's released French Dispatch.
Which I've not seen.
What's it called?
Asteroid City.
Asteroid City and this, and they've all had meddling reviews.
They have been.
Do,
So
do you think he's kind of got a little bit too?
he's got too much. He's doesn't have anyone reining him in.
Because you look at like Rushmore, brilliant film.
Yeah.
I'm not a Wes Anderson uber fan like
Yeah.
some people are.
I like him, but I don't love him.
Yeah, I'm take him or leave him. But he's got Rushmore, which is brilliant. Bottle Rocket, I wasn't overly keen on. But then
Yeah.
he's got those early like 2000s ones that I've not really seen.
Mhm.
But Fantastic Mr. Fox is brilliant.
Yeah.
Grand Budapest Hotel is brilliant. Isle of Dogs, I really like.
Mm-hmm.
But then he just kind of seems to have gotten a little bit overindulgent with what he's doing.
He really has.
And he's got all these actors that are coming on board, and like Tom
Yeah.
Hanks has all of a sudden started working with him and things like that. And
yeah.
I think
It's too far up its own butt. So I will give a shout out to the things that you think are going to be amazing are amazing. So the production designer is Adam Stockhausen, costume designer is Milena Canonero, art director is Esther Schreiner, and set decorator is Anna Pinnock.
Yes.
No flaws with that. Looks amazing, looks
they
beautiful.
always do. They always look amazing
Yeah.
and beautiful. But I think he's very much style over substance.
This one fully is. My girlfriend said, we didn't watch it together, but she said that if it wasn't in Wes's style, it would have been a bad film. And
Doesn't that mean it's a bad film anyway? Then
it's the style carries it,
Yeah.
but the plot and everything. And I'd said that to my parents. I completely agree with her. I went and saw it with my parents because my mum loves Grand Budapest Hotel. It's one of her favorite
Yeah.
films. So it was a very belated Mother's Day present for her. I was like, we'll go watch. She wanted to watch it, and I was like, I'll pay. We'll go. And yeah, I had said like the same film. It's a bad film about a businessman doing a terrible business deal that would be quite boring if it wasn't so beautifully
Yeah.
shot and designed. 3 stars, bordering on maybe 2. I think 3.
I would have given Lilo and Stitch 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, this is Cameron coming in from the future. I think this is maybe the first time we've done this on the pod, but I've been thinking more and more about it, and the Phoenician scheme gets 2 stars. Really just, bad vibe. Have I fallen out of love with cinema? Maybe, maybe not. But I will say, here's a bonus little extra thing. I just watched Frances Ha. It's really bloody good. It's a lovely film, and sort of ties into like my kind of age in life right now, Jack's age as well, quarter life crises, things like that. Lovely time, good stuff, enjoyable character, a little bit cringy at points, but intentionally so. And so I would say that's a film that, I do quite like, that I have just watched recently. So maybe I'm saying it for myself, but maybe I'm just sharing it as well for all of you to think that I'm not just a miserable mope. Frances Ha, 4 stars. Go watch that. It's on Mubi right now. Enjoy that instead of the Phoenician scheme. So, another review for you all. Back to the regular episode. The actors carry it through, but it was another one that I just left and I was like, God, I've been disappointed in like 2025. The 2024 releases we've watched this year, great.
Yeah,
but
like
Anora
Down and Anora and stuff
Anora
like that.
and Nosferatu. Like, the more that I think about Anora and Nosferatu, I'm like, what fucking brilliant films.
Yeah.
But yeah, not great.
Well, you never know. We might be shocked because Fantastic Four's coming out soon.
Oh, I have no.
I've heard that they're doing last minute reshoots on that.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
I'm very, very much looking forward to seeing 28 years later.
I'm looking forward to that. The trailer hasn't sold me on Fantastic Four, but I know someone who's worked on it. I won't say what they've done just yet, but they've given me a lot of faith in it. But the trailer hasn't sold me. What's coming out that I can now Superman? But now I want to measure my expectations because I feel like I've gone in quite high for Sinners and Mission Impossible, and it's not been met.
Oh, see, Sinners for me. I fucking loved that film.
Yeah, whereas, good.
We will see.
We'll see.
We do have an announcement to make. We will be moving this to 2 podcasts a month.
So fortnightly.
Yes, fortnightly. We consistently try and do one every week. However, work gets in the way. We have other commitments. We have families and so on.
Yeah, life events are coming up, and it's just like, even just trying to like, I'm going on holiday next week, things like that.
So we will be every 2 weeks. So this will be coming out.
Yep.
Some point later
this will come out next Monday.
Yeah, this will come out on Monday.
So we'll try and keep Monday as the regular release day, but it's just going to make things easier because it's easier to like edit. It gives me more time to do the reels and things. It gives us more time to watch things and stuff like that, and not trying to compact stuff in. So hopefully you'll still carry along.
And hopefully it'll be better quality because we're not rushing with it all, and we can really give our time to it.
Exactly. And you can, if you've only listened to some episodes now, we have over 20 episodes in the back catalogue that you can go and listen to. So yeah, we've got a lot covered, but we unfortunately don't have the luxury of this being our full-time jobs. This is just our hobby.
Maybe one day.
This is our hobby. This is us being able to spend beautiful time together.
Yes, wonderful.
And so, yeah, we hope you can accept that. If you don't, fuck off.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it from me. You done?
That's it from me. Thank you. Thank you for listening, and go see Mission Impossible Final Reckoning.
Dum dum da da dum dum da da dum. Goodbye.
Nearly dropped my phone.
Oh no.